Wow, you are a seriously loyal piece of outerwear, aren't you?
Yeah, speaking of loyalty.
Okay, we haven't officially met. Cool.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This is going to be my Avengers Infinity Saga deleted scene for Iron Man and Doctor Strange swapping places and Doctor Strange becoming the Iron Mage, so to speak, when he's wearing the Iron Man armor. If you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. We're doing a new Amazon giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave your favorite Iron Man Doctor Strange moment from Infinity War or Endgame on the video. There are a bunch of other deleted scenes that the writers and the Russos also revealed in the last couple of days that we didn't know about before, so we'll just go down the list here, starting with number 5. If you didn't see it, there's a big rewatch going for all the MCU films, and they finally got to Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Most of you probably know Marcus and McFeely from all the Captain America movies. They also wrote Thor: The Dark World, which will be relevant in a second, but they also wrote both Infinity War and Endgame. So a long time ago, Kevin Smith said that they had shown him footage of Doctor Strange literally wearing Iron Man armor on the set of Infinity War on Thanos' Q-ship here en route to Titan while they were in the middle of this big save trying to defeat Ebony Maw. But this was a couple years ago and nobody saw the actual footage. We didn't know if it existed or not, or Kevin Smith was just telling a crazy story. It sounded like he was being very truthful based on the way the writers talked about it. No, this was a crazy scene. We totally shot it. Then 4, Marvel released an Avengers Infinity War behind-the-scenes promo that actually had some behind-the-scenes footage from this scene with Iron Man wearing Doctor Strange's cape. So the way the deleted scene actually went down is that you have Iron Man going to save Spider-Man, who got stuck to the ship because he was trying to save the Wizard, as Iron Man told him to do. He has Friday send up the Iron Spider armor, so you have the Iron Spider scene, but then you have Ebony Maw torturing Doctor Strange, and the scene that they had of this was actually way more hardcore, with the needles getting ready to pierce his skin. So as they drop down to try and figure out what's going next, you have the Cloak of Levitation, which is intelligent, waiting here next to Spider-Man. They have that funny moment, hey, I don't believe we met. And instead of the theatrical cut, what wound up happening is that Iron Man sent all of his nanobots to cover Doctor Strange to save him from the needles, forming the Iron Man armor around him, and this is what he looked like in the armor. Notice the cool variations on the armor and the extra details that they layer in there. So instead of forming around an arc reactor like Iron Man's arc reactors, they form around his Eye of Agamotto and the Time Stone. The reason why Benedict Cumberbatch is wearing the physical Iron Man armor and it's not just all CG is because if you haven't seen any of the behind the scenes for Avengers Infinity War or Avengers Endgame, sometimes this is what they do when they're filming Iron Man scenes with him in the armor. It's not always 100% CG. But that was only half of the scene. What happened is that after he sends his nanobots, obviously he doesn't have them anymore, so he's left defenseless. But the Cloak of Levitation does him a solid, covers him, lowers him down to the bulkhead. Then they have that funny back and forth quipping with Ebony Maw about not seeing as many movies as the kid, and they do the aliens joke where he gets sucked out the hatch like the alien queen.
Your powers are inconsequential compared to mine.
Yeah, but the kid's seen more movies.
So 3, a lot of you will remember that this isn't the only time that Iron Man has ever become Doctor Strange in the comics, or Doctor Strange has become Iron Man. They do swaps like that all the time. The What If comics are actually a really good example. Maybe they'll try that during one of the animated What If episodes. Even a couple years ago, during the Marvel Legacy storyline, they did a version of Iron Man from a future timeline who'd become so enlightened that he'd taken the mantle of Sorcerer Supreme from Stephen Strange. They never really explained what happened to Doctor Strange during that timeline, but it's just another version of Iron Man that eventually becomes Doctor Strange, which, because this is a deleted scene, didn't wind up making it to screen, it didn't even make it to the DVD, maybe they'll bring back during a future Avengers multiverse story. We have Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness coming up. Kevin Feige already told us, literally, we'd be seeing alternate versions of heroes that we knew from the MCU. So even though I don't think that Robert Downey Jr. is going to come back for that, they could always include some background footage with him CG as a version of Doctor Strange so that it's not him on screen actually, or they could show us the Iron Mage version of Doctor Strange during that. And 2, you'll remember this isn't the only time that Iron Man has given his armor to other people, primarily Pepper Potts, like the notable scene from Iron Man 3 where the Mandarin tries to blow up his Malibu house, so he covers her in the armor, then she saves him. But there was also a really cool deleted scene that I talked about in an earlier video where Iron Man shows that he had nano armor as early as Iron Man 2 in this deleted scene.
And it's not our collection, it's my collection. No offense.
No, you know what? I think I'm actually entitled to say our collection, considering the
You're
amount
entitled
of
to do whatever
time
you
I
want, but you're
invested in curating that collection over
You have?
10 years.
Oh my
Yes.
God. With whose money? My money. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
your money.
Our money.
$680 million.
That's
Did you know
nothing.
that? Did you even know it was
It
worth
doesn't
that?
mean anything to me.
Doesn't
You know what
mean
means something to
anything?
me?
Doesn't mean anything. Okay.
There you go.
Oh. Damn it. I hate this thing.
My nanoball?
I don't want to play with your ball.
They're mostly playing it for comedy there. I don't want to play with your balls, Tony. But it's just an example of him having this hyper-advanced Iron Man armor technology that he then put to use during Infinity War. I think the main reason why they didn't want to introduce armor that advanced that early in Iron Man's timeline is just because they wanted to give him a place to go eventually. Like they were getting ready to do the Extremis storyline during Iron Man 3, and if they did the nano armor in Iron Man 2, it would kind of give away that big twist. There's also some really cool concept art that looks a lot like the Superior Iron Man, which is basically almost a version of the symbiote armor, but it carries with it the same type of cost, the same type of twist. It makes them the worst versions of themselves, so it was a relatively brief twist in the comics. And then number 1, the Russos were just doing their Avengers Endgame commentary. I'll probably do a longer video for it at some point, but one of the cool Iron Man deleted scenes that they talked about that we're probably never going to get to see is that originally they had a bunch of different ideas for what the teams would be when they go back into the past through the quantum realm. And originally it was supposed to be Iron Man teaming up with Thor to go back to 2014 in the events of Thor: The Dark World on Asgard. They were going to have Iron Man fighting Heimdall in an invisible stealth Iron Man suit that we hadn't seen yet, another new Iron Man armor that he just hadn't revealed. It would have been a big callback to this scene from Thor: The Dark World, where the Dark Elves are trying to use their cloaking device to fly their ships past Heimdall, who uses his power to sense them, even though he can't see them. So picture them playing that for comedy, with Iron Man turning invisible in his armor and then trying to tiptoe past Heimdall unsuccessfully till they battle it out and try to take him down in some hilarious way. Most of Thor's storyline, especially the stuff in Asgard with Rocket Raccoon, was played for comedy, with the exception of the scene that he had with his mother. That was the big reason why they went back to the events of Thor: The Dark World, because they retroactively wanted to fix some of the things about that movie, make them better, and also poke fun at themselves. Like a lot of you might enjoy Thor: The Dark World, it is a fun movie, but it's usually pointed to as an example of one of the weaker MCU movies. But hopefully that explains what was going on with the Iron Man becoming Doctor Strange scene in Doctor Strange Becoming Iron Man, or the Iron Mage, as he was called when he was wearing the Iron Man armor. Let me know in the comments though, now that Doctor Strange 2 has been delayed, do you want them to try and include a scene where we actually see Iron Mage Doctor Strange from an alternate reality? And even though Robert Downey Jr. implied that he's not going to come back to the MCU for a long time, it would be really cool if they found some workaround to include a scene with a version of Iron Man that became Doctor Strange in an alternate reality. There's a lot of ways to accomplish that without actually having to have Robert Downey Jr. fly out to Atlanta to film a scene for that. We also have that What If animated series that will hopefully be able to premiere next summer. Originally, before all the virus delays, What If was supposed to premiere next year, but that might get pushed by a couple months. There was a bunch of other really cool stuff that they revealed during these big rewatches of Infinity War and Avengers Endgame and all the other MCU films. I'm also doing my Infinity Saga rewatch video. Thor is the next movie that I'm doing that video for that should post pretty soon later this week. As long as you have alerts enabled for my channel, you should see that video when I post it. Everyone click here for my brand new Doctor Strange 2, Ghost Rider, and Daredevil video, and click here for my brand new Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2 teaser trailer. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe. I'll see you guys tonight.